The European finals are set, people. We have 3 Premier League teams, 1 La Liga side, 1 Ligue 1 side, and 1 Serie A side that will contest in all 3 finals. The Conference League sees Real Betis take on Chelsea. Europa League is an all Premier League clash. And the big one, the Champions League, is PSG up against Inter Milan. Today's video, we're just going to preview the finals. No prediction, we're just going to talk about storylines heading into these finals. So first up is the Conference League. Real Betis have done it. Their first ever European final. They were contesting in their first ever European semi-final. They had a very intense and tough semi-final against Fiorentina. They overcame it with, I guess, the GOAT right now in football, Antony. And for Betis to make it to the final is a huge achievement for Pellegrini and his side. If you've not been following Betis this season, at the beginning of the season, they were horrendous. The only reason why they were winning some games or collecting points was because Lo Celso was going God mode. Right now, this is a completely different team. What we have seen from Betis in 2025 is miraculous. The football they're playing, Isco is a magician right now in the midfield. Antony doing well. Even Abde, who couldn't find the back of the net early on in this season, had got 2 goals in the semifinals. So Betis, they got the momentum. They were playing good football. You know, against Fiorentina, they were very much struck by the set pieces of Fiorentina. If you watch the game, Betis overall, with the football they played, deservedly are in this final. And of course, with the Conference League, you can talk about the big sides. Oh, was their road to the final very difficult? Betis, you know, they didn't play the toughest of opponents until they got to the semi-final. So I think Betis, the football they played, the players they got, I think with the experience of an Isco to Fornals, to a guy like Johnny Cardoso in the midfield, they can go toe-to-toe with Chelsea. Chelsea, let's be honest here, they haven't been tested. Not one single game where you looked at Chelsea and thought to yourself, wow, they're finding it difficult out here. Yeah, they lost to Legia Warsaw at home, but they basically, I think, fielded a B team in that game. Chelsea, now they will be tested. Okay, it's been easy, it's been wonderful. You have been chilling out, you've had a mojito. It's been nice settings. This final will not be easy for Chelsea. They understand that. Of course, do the fans really want to win the Conference League? That's not really Chelsea. For the history of the club for the last 20 years, it's always been about winning the Champions League, Premier League, or winning the Europa League. The Conference League will not be a defining moment in their season, but at least they pick up some silverware. Then this is a good thing for this young core. We know this Chelsea team is a very young team with the likes of Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Nico Jackson, you name it. They're a very young team. So collecting some silverware could be the launch of this new Chelsea team. But if they lose this final, will it be detrimental to their progress as a club? I don't think so. But of course, when you're in the final, you still want to win it. I think we're actually going to get a very entertaining final because Betis are not just going to sit back and defend for 90 minutes. When Betis get the ball, very direct team with the likes of Abde, Bakambu, Antony, Isco, Gianni Cardoso. So they're a very good team. The one thing for Betis is they concede a lot of goals. So if you're Chelsea, Cole Palmer, he has to play really well. Nico Jackson to Neto, whoever plays out wide on the left, whether it's Sancho, looks like it's going to be Madueke. These sort of players need to step up for Chelsea. I feel like this is like 60-40 for Chelsea. Betis, good side, but now they got a really tough test going on. But they've beaten Madrid this season. They obviously got the draw away to Barcelona. So Betis are no slouches. If people think this is going to be a walkover for Chelsea, you're very much mistaken of how good this Betis side are. I think this is going to be a cracking final, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This final is confusing, and I am bewildered at how this has happened. I can't lie, people. Seeing Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United play in a Europa League final, and they're 14th and 16th in the Premier League, is wild. I don't think we will ever see this again in football, where 2 teams from the same league who have been absolutely dreadful in their league campaign make it to a European final. Never. Obviously, we've seen it with like domestic cups like Wigan winning the FA Cup and getting relegated, but a European final. And the implications right now, if one of these sides win it, is massive. Financially, making it to the Champions League football, winning a trophy, all of the shit that you saw in the league campaign, it'll be forgotten. I don't care. It will be forgotten. For how poor Amorim and Manchester United have been, losing to Wolves at home, you know, having a dreadful game against Ipswich. I think they won the game, if I'm not mistaken. But that will be forgotten. Do you win the Europa League? Ruben Amorim, in Europe, this guy's good. In his last 24 games, people, in Europe with Sporting and Manchester United, he has lost a grand total of 2 games. Ruben Amorim is that guy. I think he just tactically knows how to get the best out of his players in European competitions. He knows how to really get them mentally prepared for the situation. Ruben Amorim in Europe is a very dangerous person. But his opponent, Ange Postecoglou, he did say, and this might go down as one of the greatest quotes in football history, "I always win something in my second season." Ange has that possibility with Tottenham Hotspur. With Tottenham, for the banter that they have gotten over the last 15 years of not winning a trophy. Oh, you haven't won a trophy since 2008. If Ange can change that narrative about Tottenham and win the Europa League, win a European trophy before Arsenal, wow, the bragging rights that Spurs fans will have and that Ange will have, and even if Ange wins this Europa League, he might still get sacked. That's just the crazy thing about this final. Ruben Amorim, he has still pressure because of how dreadful he's been in the Premier League. He still has pressure to win a trophy and get Champions League football. But there's still pressure on Ange as well. You have to win this trophy to salvage anything from one of Spurs' worst season in modern history. And when we talk about the football, I actually have no clue footballing wise what's going to happen here. Spurs have had a good record against Manchester United, and head-to-head records goes out of the way. And when it gets to a European final and a cup final, all of the history before, unless it's Real Madrid, it goes out of the way because they know Tottenham and Manchester United. It is such a monumental achievement this season to win this trophy. If Dominic Solanke can keep his good form, that's a good thing for Spurs. And Manchester United, defensively, they're looking a lot better in the Europa League. Attacking wise, the fact that Amad Diallo is back and the guy is just such a brilliant player compared to Garnacho, that's a big plus for Manchester United. Bruno, Amad Diallo, cooking, Man United can win this final. I don't know if this is going to be the greatest footballing wise, but entertainment wise and the implications of it, this Europa League final might go down in history. And the last final we'll talk about, of course, is the big one in Munich. Champions League final, people. Inter and PSG. All season, I've been telling you, Inter are going to win this Champions League. And they're one step closer to doing it. And this team just really reminds me of that 2010 team. I still think that 2010 team is better with obviously Eto'o, Sneijder, Zanetti, Lucio, all of these brilliant players that Inter had. But that core of players, they understood that's their last chance to win the Champions League. Well, they didn't just win the Champions League, they won the treble. And I kind of feel like it's the same thing with this team for Inter. They're on their last legs. It could be the last opportunity for a lot of these players, the Serbi, Sommer, Çalhanoğlu, to win a Champions League. And the road that they have taken to get to this final, imperious defensively in the league phase. 1 goal conceded. Before they met Bayern Munich, they started conceding more. They conceded more, but then they started scoring more. And then, of course, the chaotic, craziest UCL tie you will ever see against Barcelona. And it's like the stars are aligning for this Inter side. They had Fratesi and Taremi step up for them in that semi-final. Fratesi and Taremi. Fratesi, who has been clutch, by the way. Bayern Munich away got the goal. Barcelona at home got the goal to win the tie. So Fratesi has stepped up. Inter just have all of these players. If I'm Inzaghi, I would just scrap the Scudetto. Rest all the players. PSG are going to rest all their players except for the Coupe de France final. If I'm Inzaghi, just throw it away. Rest Thuram, rest Lautaro, rest all of these players. Get them fully fit for this final because this is a legacy-defining final for Inter. And for PSG, could they be the second ever Ligue 1 side to win a UCL? And could they be the first ever Ligue 1 side to capture a treble? This could be a historic season and the greatest season ever in PSG's history if they do win the Champions League. And the narrative, Mbappe leaves, how are PSG going to react after Mbappe's leaving, after Neymar left, after Messi left? And if they win a Champions League in the first season after all of these players have left, I mean, that is just wild. And the players like Dembele to Kvara to Fabian Ruiz to João Neves to Vitinha will all have immediately statues in Paris. All of the players, and you can just see how much this Champions League would mean to the fans because that's the only thing missing for this club. they got the fan base, they got the trophies in Ligue 1, they got the Coupe de France. They only need that UCL to complete everything that the Qatari owners have wanted to achieve. As a global brand, PSG are up there. Now they just need to secure that one Champions League trophy. Are they going to do it? We know how this game is going to go down. PSG are going to dominate possession and Inter are going to hit them on the counter-attack. But Inter, they have to defend better. They were just monsters going forward against Barcelona and were super clinical. A battle that really will define this game is Denzel Dumfries up against Nuno Mendes. Because Denzel Dumfries against Barcelona, the dude was moving like prime Cafu. I mean, that was two of the best games of Dumfries' career. Can they get some more production from Thuram to Lautaro? And for PSG, if Ousmane Dembele shows up and has a brilliant final, he will win the Ballon d'Or. So a very interesting UCL final. The first final with no La Liga, Bundesliga, or Premier League side involved since 2004. So relish the moment, and this final is super interesting. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people. Which final are you most hyped for? For me, the Champions League is number 1. I would say the Conference League is number 2. Europa League is number 3. No hating on Manchester United, Tottenham, but I'm more fascinated by Betis against Chelsea. We're gonna have individual videos breaking down the final of the Champions League and Europa League soon coming up on the channel. But to keep up to date with everything, remember to follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, all those links in the description down below. Remember to join the Discord. The Discord was hot during the European nights. But have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Till next time. Adios.